Chris, so a lot of brokers say they have strong network, but you back it up with data. How did you intentionally build a carrier base that could survive market swings and moved over 40,000 lots?
Well, I think it's all based on intent, right? What is it that you want out of your business? And again, the model that I was kind of baptized by fire and early in my career was if you do the really hard work up front, that's finding the right capacity for your shippers, whether that be carriers and independent operators domiciled within your client's market or region, or sourcing reverse capacity, finding carriers that run into a region that are domiciled in destination locations. If you do the really hard work up front, the value you can create to your clients is 10x what the quote unquote post and hope 3PLs of the world, right? I take great pride in saying that we cover over 92% of our freight without using a load board. Um, that reduces risk, that reduces claims, that reduces liability. It also provides reassurance to our clients that when we say we have capacity in a market, it's not DAT and truck stop. And no offense to those platforms, they serve their purpose. Um, but when you can build a network of capacity that can be, put into a waterfall system, you have preset pricing, and you've got Chicago to Los Angeles, and you're running it 20 times a week, and you've got a list of 7 to 10 carriers at different price points, different service levels, different capabilities. Not only does that guarantee your client's capacity, but it frees up your team to go work on new business. And that's our whole goal is how can we provide the best possible service to our clients, by being as strategic as possible and using our time wisely, but also being very mindful of like our revenue per head count. Uh, Mind you, we moved over 40,000 truckloads in 2025 with 45 operations people.
Yes, that's amazing. So the secret is putting the work up front, right? Doing the hard stuff and build the capacity, then go after business and provide value.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And once you develop good capacity in certain markets, then you can shift your customer acquisition focus to said market, right?
Yes.
If you're really good out of Los Angeles and um, you have extra capacity, then your business development team should be canvassing that market, and selling to your carrier's capacity because that is a competitive advantage.
Yes, Chris, but I'm gonna ask you a very tricky question.
Okay.
Building capacity when you're just starting out without freight, it's not possible. Can you give us the secret how to build capacity? What would you have done if you just started fresh?
Well, the hardest part in the whole equation is getting a customer to tell you yes. Okay. I've been in this space for 13 years. I've been selling as a professional for a decade. Um, I still tell my people this all the time. The ability to convince a shipper or manufacturer to give you an opportunity to control their freight is so hard to find. And um, if you really break it down, the decision makers at these shippers and manufacturers, they're ultimately putting the fate of their job in our hands, right? And I don't
Yes.
think people talk about that enough. Like if we underperform, my client's job could potentially be at risk because now you're affecting their supply chain, you're affecting sales relationship with their clients, you're affecting the bottom line, right? And the goal of being in business is to be profitable. To go back and answer the question that you asked me, you have to have freight in order to find capacity. Now, once you do have freight, you have to be very mindful and intentional. I tell my people all the time, sometimes on a daily basis, every single phone call that you make to an owner operator or a small fleet or a mid-sized fleet, it should have intent. Okay. How often do you run this lane? How many trucks a week do you have in this market? When you start asking the right questions, instead of being incredibly transactional, which a lot of people are, our goal is to gather as much information as possible. And you can only do that by asking the right questions. So A, go out and find freight, and then B, spend equally as much time building your capacity network as you did on trying to land that customer. And then when you marry those two together, you can provide a litany of different, services and offerings to your clients. And quite frankly, it can start landing you in markets that you never would have solicited in the past.